Joining us now is Eladio Jose Armesto. He is the Vice President of the National Cuban Journalists Association, and we're so happy to have him here. Eladio, how are you doing tonight?
Very good, very well, thank you.
So here's the, what is your beef with Bolsonaro? And, or I should say, what is your beef with the doctors that Bolsonaro is trying to essentially kick out of his country?
Well, I think our primary beef should be with organizations like the United Nations and the Organization of American States, OAS, and even with the U.S. government that has never brought an uproar as to these people being used as human trafficking, because that's what it really essentially is. It's human trafficking. You know, these people are slaves, practically speaking. If they escape, they don't have papers. Their family is kept as hostage in the Castro-controlled island, and they are paid meager sums for their services, if indeed they are doctors, because we have to take the Castro regime's word that these people are trained as doctors, because they've never been examined at the countries where they're sent to. They've never been licensed there. Yeah. So, you know, whose word are we going to take?
Listen, I get your point. I get your point, and I think it's a good one. I think it's an important point that you're making. But, you know, in the end, there's a couple of things that we have to clarify. First of all, most of these people who are being trained as doctors in Cuba are very good doctors. You and I have seen them in Miami when they're finally able to get out of Cuba, and they come to Miami. They're very qualified, very dedicated, and they do great work. So I hope you're not dismissing the doctors, the professionals themselves, which I don't think you are, right?
No, but again, this is all, the qualifications of the doctors that we have in Miami would be anecdotal. It is not statistical. It is not proven with paperwork. Now, the doctors, obviously, that come to the U.S. have to take extensive courses and examinations in order to be licensed to work as doctors in the United States. But that's not the case with the personnel that is sent to Venezuela, Bolivia.
But let's suppose, okay, and I understand, but let us suppose they're not the greatest doctors in the world. Maybe they don't have the greatest qualifications. We're talking about countries where in the remotest parts of that country, they haven't seen a health professional in a long, long time, period. The fact that they're seeing somebody, right, whether it's a nurse or a doctor or someone maybe not as qualified as the people that you and I go to see, shouldn't that be something, just from a humanistic standpoint, that we should be grateful for?
No, I think that we should never be grateful when human beings are trafficked as resources, as trafficked as slaves. Right. I mean, these are people that are not free. They are not free to make those decisions. They are not free to select where they will serve, what country they will travel to, or even, they're not even free to decide how long they're going to be in those countries.
But here's
all of those decisions are made for them.
And we're running out of time, so I get your point, but let me argue it from this point of view. Let's suppose, so you're arguing Bolsonaro's point, that he doesn't think these doctors are being treated well. Shouldn't he be arguing from the standpoint of his citizens? Because I get what you're saying. And by the way, I agree with you. I agree with you that these doctors probably are not treated very well. But Bolsonaro is arguing against the doctors. Shouldn't he be saying, but I'm grateful they're here and they're helping my citizens?
There is also a lot of anecdotal evidence about malpractice cases that these doctors are engaged in these countries. And the citizens of those countries, the residents, have no protection because of the fact that these so-called doctors are given carte blanche. They are given full powers to prescribe medications, to operate, to do surgeries, and a lot of times they may not be the best trained, and they injure and they harm the population there, and those people have no way to protect themselves in those cases of malpractice.
You sound like you're making them out to be monsters. Okay. Eladio Jose Armesto, I thank you for your comments. Spirited debate. Come on back. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.